recently my wife and I have been watching a show called The Flash on Netflix, and it's about this guy who gets struck with lightning and he gets these superpowers to run at incredible speeds. Well, at some point in the show, he has this ability and this opportunity to go back in time and to change something about his life, something tragic that happened to him. And it got me thinking, first, I've made a lot of mistakes in my life. And I've had a lot of things happen to me that I wish had not happened. And it got me thinking, would I, if given the opportunity, if I had this ability to run back in time to change my past, would I? And it really got me thinking that if I did, it would be hard for me to really say that I trusted God. And what I mean by that is that there's this verse in the Bible that most Christians are very familiar with. It's one that you might see on mugs or t-shirts or maybe even tattoos. And it's found in Jeremiah, and it goes something like this. For I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord. Plans to prosper and not harm you. Plans to give you a hope and a future. And I feel like if I were to go back in time and change something about my past, something awful that's happened, whether it was caused by me or caused by someone else, that I really wouldn't trust that God had this future planned out for me, and that I basically would be saying to God, I know better than you. Because let's be honest, a lot of things that are happening right now, maybe in your life, my life, somebody you know, does not seem like God doesn't want to hurt us. It seems like very much that God is bringing this catastrophe upon you, or me, or someone you know, and so we look at that verse and we go, what are you doing, God? Well, there's something else about that verse, and you don't really see it on the mugs. There's probably because there's not enough room. Same with tattoos. But it's actually really, really crucial to that verse. That what's happening before that is important, and what's happening after that is pretty important too. We call this putting it into context. And what's happening before that verse is that there are the Israelites, and they've been exiled out. They've been taken out of their homeland and put into a foreign land under a foreign ruler. And God pretty much allowed this to happen. It was part of His plan. You know, that plan that for I know the plans I have for you, declares the Lord, plans to prosper you, right? Yeah. Well, part of God's plan was to let the Israelites go into exile. And there's this prophet called Jeremiah. His name is Jeremiah. And God gives him these words to share to the elders of the exiles. And He says, go ahead. You're going to be there for a while. You're going to be in this distant foreign land for a while. You're not going to enjoy the land that I gave you, because you messed up a lot. Go ahead, marry. Go ahead, plant your gardens. Sit back, relax, because it's going to be a while. It's actually going to be about 70 years, He tells them. And He says, at the end of that 70 years, I'm going to pour out my grace onto you. And this is where that verse comes in. He goes, because I have a hope and a future for you. It is not my desire, it's not my will to hurt you or to harm you or to bring this catastrophe upon you. And what happens right after that verse in, I believe, 12 and 13 is actually what I think is the heart of what God really wants. See, we cling to this idea that God has a promise for us, this great and prosperous future for us. But I would almost dare to say that we're actually missing the point. Because what happens in 12 and 13 is this. Then you will call upon me and come and pray to me, and I will listen to you. I mean, stop right there for a second. Isn't that idea that God will listen to us equally or maybe even slightly more important that the future He has for us? That is not to harm us? I mean, think about this. God is saying, I will listen to you. You will seek me and find me when you seek me with all your heart. So I want you to think about this. If you could go back in time and change something about your past, but it prevented you from seeking God with all of your heart, would you? Think about that. I've had a lot of crummy things happen to me, and I've done a lot of crummy things that I wish I hadn't. But a lot of those things have led me to get to a point where I seek God with all of my heart. Those are the defining moments in my life that make me who I am. And I'm not totally pleased with who I am right now. But I know that without those moments, I wouldn't be as close to God as I am. I would have never sought Him with all of my heart. I wouldn't know what it's like for God to listen to me because I would have never cried out to Him to begin with. Yes, I really do wish a lot of things were different in my life. But given the opportunity, I don't think I would change them. Because what's most important there is not necessarily that God has a plan or this great future for me. I don't know what God has in store for me. I really don't. But if I cling to this idea that God listens to me and that I will be able to find Him when I seek Him, well, I think that is what we need to cling to. During hard times, during catastrophes, during those moments that we wish we could go back and change. So, that's it for today. Hope you enjoyed that. Hope you were able to get something out of it. If you know someone who's going through something hard and you feel like they could benefit from this, please feel free to share. If you want to start a dialogue in the comment section, I would love to take part of that. Let me know what you think, your thoughts, and I'll see you guys later.